This is Court TV Live. I'm Kelly Craft, and today for Ted Rollins. Thank you for being with us. We are in South Carolina. Opening statements begin next week in the trial for defendant Jamie Komoroski. She is charged with reckless homicide and DUI. Komoroski is accused of slamming her car into a golf cart carrying a couple just hours after their wedding back in April of 2023. The bride died at the scene. Court TV anchor Judge Ashley Wilcott has a look at the case against Komoroski.
April 28th, 2023, Eric Hutchinson and Samantha Miller said their I-do's at a beachside wedding in South Carolina. Later that evening, their new life together would end abruptly after an alleged drunk driver crashed into their golf cart when leaving their wedding venue. Eric was severely injured, but Samantha died at the scene from blunt force injuries.
And Mom looks at us and says, something happened to Sam. She knew it and she felt it in her gut.
She was nothing but, here I go, love and care. And she literally was like born an angel.
While Eric and Sam were preparing for their wedding day, Jamie Komoroski set off on a day of bar hopping. She began here at El Gallo Bar and Grill, then made her way to Folly Beach, making stops at 3 other establishments, consuming beer, tequila shots, and other shots of liquor. By the end of the night, Jamie's blood alcohol level was more than 3 times the legal limit.
She made the conscious decision to get in her vehicle way over the legal limit, and she killed my sister.
As Samantha and Eric left their wedding reception on a golf cart, which was driven by his brother-in-law and nephew, Komoroski was reaching speeds of 65 miles per hour, exceeding the 25-mile-per-hour speed limit postings. Eric Hutchinson spoke about the tragedy with ABC News.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. That night going from an all-time high to an all-time low, it's pretty rough to try to comprehend. I remember waking up just kind of foggy, out of sorts, and I could see my mom's face, and you could just tell something was wrong. And
Komoroski spent 10 months in jail after allegedly being under the influence when she hit the golf cart carrying the newlyweds.
I still just don't know why this had to happen to me.
Because bad things happen to good people, honey.
Jamie was released on a $150,000 bond and faces reckless vehicular homicide charges, as well as 3 counts of driving under the influence causing death or great bodily injury. She is currently under house arrest in Charleston County.
It's just created such havoc in everybody's life, and why should she get out and just go about her merry way?
I want to welcome our guest for this hour here with me, criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor, Jennifer Wells. Jennifer, thank you so much for being with us today. We just listened to Judge Ashley Wilcott's piece on this really tragic situation that happened there in South Carolina. Just looking ahead here, they're going to send me out there to South Carolina to cover this case that's expected to start next week. I'm really surprised that there has not been any kind of plea agreement. I'm just scratching my head here thinking of a possible defense. What's your take on this?
So, felony DUI with death in South Carolina can be a very challenging statute for defense attorneys. I have handled these cases on both sides of the fence, both as a defense attorney and as a prosecutor. And a lot of times in these cases, obviously, as you can tell from Judge Wilcott's piece, there are a lot of emotions involved. I do note that they have charged her also with reckless homicide, which is a lot of times a place where prosecutors and defense attorneys can meet, especially as in this case, where the family is settling a number of civil suits and have received monetary compensation. It's not unusual for families to back off a little bit once they receive monetary compensation, but it doesn't appear like that's happening in this case. Perhaps there are plea negotiations that we're not aware of, but it's here it's pretty much felony DUI with death, which does carry a mandatory minimum sentence in South Carolina. But she will have done, it's been about a year, she will have done most of that either in jail or on home detention at this point. So maybe they come in on Monday morning and notify the judge that they've reached some sort of agreement. But I agree at this point, it doesn't sound like this is a case that is headed towards a plea. It certainly sounds like they're well on their way to a jury in this matter.
I was looking at some of the court documents in this case, prepping for the trial, and I may not be reading it right, but Jennifer, it's such a large range, anywhere from 3 to 85 years behind bars. Does that sound right?
So for a single count of felony DUI with death in South Carolina, it carries a mandatory minimum of 1, carries up to 25 years. So on the reckless homicide, that would be an additional 10 that they could run consecutive to that felony DUI with death. Although if she's convicted, my guess would be the judge would give her, probably, close to the maximum, and then run that 10 concurrent with that. That's a significant amount of time for someone who is as young as she is, with what I understand to be a very minimal, if anything, prior record. But I anticipate the family, as they have been throughout this process, is going to continue to be vocal about her not getting any sort of reduction in sentence if this case does go to a jury verdict.
She's 27 years old, facing this trial. We've heard some of the jailhouse phone calls that she's made with her dad, and her dad is saying that good things happen, bad things happen to good people. We'll probably hear those jailhouse calls in trial if there's not some sort of plea agreement by Monday or on Monday. What do you think of that when her dad is talking with her? Of course, he's just trying to, I guess, give his daughter some hope, but it's hard to hear when you think of the tragic situation in this case.
Exactly. And when this case first happened and those jail calls were released, it's one of those, as a defense attorney, kind of what I call a throw up on your shoes kind of moment. I don't know when counsel was retained in this case. I know she has excellent counsel, but sometimes even with excellent counsel, you can tell your clients you stay off that phone. You do not talk to anybody about the facts and circumstances of this case. You need to be mindful that these calls are being recorded, and sometimes clients listen and sometimes they don't. And these are very painful phone calls from this family's perspective to listen to, and certainly her dad is trying to encourage her. And in a lot of times, I had a conversation with the client's family this morning. In these cases, but for the grace of God, go a lot of people. But not under these facts. This is obviously a case where they've got some demonstrated evidence of a night of what could be, in the light most favorable to the defendant, described as binge drinking. Mm-hmm. And I think the state will, obviously, if it goes to trial, we're going to hear a lot about just how egregious her actions were leading up to this accident.
So much drinking and speeding, 65 miles per hour in a 25 mile per hour zone. Just everyone who's familiar with that area out there knows, there's golf carts, there's crossing the roads, and you have to be careful. That's why the speed limit is set so low at 25 miles per hour. So, yeah, definitely some egregious actions here. Jennifer, thank you so much for your excellent analysis in this case. Court TV has obtained jail phone calls that took place days before and after Jamie Komoroski's bond hearing. In several of those phone calls, Komoroski does speak with her father. We were just talking about that. This is about the bond hearing, and she does sound optimistic. So let's start with her phone call from May 9th, 2023.
I just can't wait to get out of here.
Oh, listen,
Is Mom going to come live with me in South Carolina, or am I going to go to New Jersey?
I'm going to do everything, not me, but our team will call them. It's going to do everything to get you bonded to New Jersey.
But then what about Evan?
Jamie, now's not the time to be worried about it.
But I thought maybe Mom could live with me.
No, baby, Mom can't move to South Carolina. And listen, when you talk to her, your mom, first of all, she's very upset that she missed your call.
Okay.
And you should call her when we're done.
Okay.
But think of it this way. Mom moving to South Carolina would be a huge break in her life. You're talking about her selling her home, quitting her job.
I thought that maybe CJ would just take care of the house. So I'll go to New Jersey. It's okay. I'll go to New Jersey.
Well, put it this way, you know, New Jersey is where it's most stable for you.
Yeah.
And Jamie, nothing for nothing. You kind of, you kind of have to think of what's most important. Yeah, Evan I've been texting Evan and everything. I like Evan a tremendous amount.
No, I don't want to talk to you about Evan.
Okay. We won't. Okay.
It makes me sad. I love him. And I don't want.
Well, listen, Jamie, I understand that, but you you have to deal with reality, okay?
Yes.
I mean, if first of all, it could be 12 weeks before bond.
Yeah, I know that.
So you have to realize that that's 3 months.
Yeah, or it could be 4.
Or it could be 2. They are trying to get it expedited. And that's why we got these hot-to-trot attorneys on, okay? They are going to try to get you a bond court hearing as soon as possible. They're going to file paperwork. They're going to contact their people that they have relationships with within the county and try to get your bond hearing expedited.
How did you know about the deputy sheriff lady?
Well, what happened is she called me, asked me to call her. At that time was when Chris and Deb gave me a statement to give to anybody that asks about you, a kind of boilerplate. Everybody, I told everybody, your sister, your mother, your brother, grandma, grandpa, everybody, that if anybody asks about you, that you are only to say, call Jamie's attorney. And I gave the name of the law firm, Kingston Coventry, and Deb and Chris Ramapucci, whatever the Italian name is, I don't even know how to pronounce it yet. And, and gave the phone numbers. And I sent that to her. Then she texted, this is all in text, she texted me back that, it wasn't a legal issue. She just wanted to talk to me about family stuff. Okay? Then what happened was after that, I told Chris what the conversation was. Now, Chris has a relationship with Sheriff Graziano. They know each other. Okay? So I said it to Chris, and I said I would like to call her because I don't want to disrespect this lady. And Chris said she is a really nice person, and he encouraged me to call her. And I spoke to her. So that's how the whole thing happened with Sheriff Graziano.
Okay, that's good.
And she's really nice, right? So I think
I just feel a little bit better now. I just don't want to, I'm just excited to, get bond and then just keep going after that and take it step by step.
Jamie, you know what? It's just like when somebody has a life-altering issue sitting in their life. You take it not only day by day, you take it hour by hour. Every hour you get through is 1 hour behind you. Every day you get through is 1 day behind you. Every week you get through is 1 week behind you. don't think too far into the future. You take care of yourself right now for the next hour, 2 hours, make it till it lights out, right? And that's how you get through.
I just can't wait to hug everyone.
We are going to have more from the jail calls between Jamie Komoroski and her father when we come back. You're watching Court TV, your front row seat to justice.
I'm Vinny Politan. Welcome to Closing Arguments.
What's happening here?
It's unreal. Let me show you exactly what happened.
Closing Arguments with Vinny Politan, tonight at 8/7 Central, only on Court TV.
What happened that night? Are you not prepared to take responsibility for any of your crimes?
Interview with a killer. Marathon starting Thursday, 11/10 Central, only on Court TV.
In South Carolina, the woman accused of driving drunk and slamming into a golf cart, killing a bride on her wedding night, will face a jury starting on Monday. Investigators say Jamie Komoroski was driving 65 miles per hour in a 25-mile-per-hour zone with a blood alcohol level more than 3 times the legal limit. The bride, Samantha Miller, was killed. 3 others who were in the golf cart, including groom Eric Hutchinson, they were injured. This hour, we are bringing you the jail phone call between Komoroski and her father. Let's get you back to that phone call now. This was from May 9th of 2023.
Your wacko mother just texted. Okay, you want to hear what it was? You want me to read this wacko text to you from your mother?
What did she say?
Don't tell her I told you, okay? Because you're going to be calling. Are you ready for this text? Are you sitting? Here we go. From your mom. This is her texting. I have noticed all the signs from you that tell me Cindy is your girlfriend now. You couldn't even hug me automatically when you saw me. I had to ask you for a hug. You also didn't look at me in the eyes one time when we were toasting to James. Good luck. Is she screwball or what? Then, before I got to respond, she was quick on the text. She goes, you also haven't mentioned her. Your no reply confirms it. I didn't even get, it was so fast, I didn't even get the answer the first one time. So I texted back, LOL, wacky. She is absolutely not my girlfriend, in capital letters. I don't ever want a girlfriend. Dealing with you and my kids are more than enough to deal with. You are wacky. And then she texted me back just now. Okay. I'm so worried for our baby. I'm sorry. Your mom's like wacko.
I know.
That's why we love her. Cindy's your girlfriend. I'm like, what are you talking about?
She can't even care anymore. Well, of course she's always going to care, but...
Cindy is a very good friend of mine, okay?
Yeah.
She was up here to do doctors and lawyer stuff, and we went to lunch 2 Saturdays in a row, and it was a good time, and we talked. This was...
That's fine. I don't care. You can do whatever you want. You can have a girlfriend if you want.
I don't want a girlfriend. I love your mama. I love you kids. And that's all I give. Okay?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. So Dad, when I have my bond thing, they're gonna give me a date and they're gonna say, okay, it's gonna be on this day. They're probably gonna give me what, like a week's head notice or something?
I don't know. I started, now remember, Jamie, this is so new. I mean, it's Thursday I retained the attorney. So
Yeah,
you figure
I'll figure it
Friday?
out. I get it. You don't know. I'll try to figure it out. But what I'm saying is, I'm just wondering, like, so, like, after I pay bond and stuff, like, are you and Mom gonna pick me up?
I'm gonna be at the bond hearing in court with you.
Okay.
Okay? I will be there, sitting there in court with you. Period.
Good. Okay, good.
Okay?
Yeah.
Maybe when nobody's looking, I might come over and, like, give you a hug. I'll jump over the chairs and come and get you, okay? I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know if it's a good idea, but I'm going to go for it.
Yeah, but we got a lot of good information to everyone today, so that was good. It was a productive meeting that we all had.
Well, let me tell you, I talked to Deb and Chris, you know, on a cell call. They were in a car, so I was talking to both of them, you know what I mean? And they both like you very much. They think you're an absolute sweetheart. They think that you are very smart and you're going to be very helpful with the case. And Deb says that, you know, she hugged you and she really felt the connection. And that is so important to have the case progress, okay? That you and her particularly get along. Don't, she's a Jersey girl. Don't give her the Jersey eye roll and smirk, please. Okay? Because guess what? She'll probably give you the Jersey eye roll and smirk back.
I told her she smelled good.
You told her that she smelled good? She loved it. I'm telling you. They were very happy to meet you, and they like you a lot. And that not just because you're the client, because they truly do like you.
Yeah, I'm just so happy that you were able to get, like, such good people to, like, help me. Like, there's so many people that don't even, like, they can't even afford, like, to get a lawyer or anything. And I just feel so lucky that I have such good people that are able to help me.
We're going to have more from the jail calls between Jamie Komoroski and her father when we come back. You're watching Court TV, the front row seat to justice. Watching Court TV, I'm Kelly Craft. In today for Ted Rowlands, thank you for being with us. We're going to go back to South Carolina now and the deadly wedding night trial for defendant Jamie Komoroski. She is the woman accused of reckless homicide after prosecutors say that she drove her car into a golf cart carrying a newlywed couple. The bride, Samantha Miller, died at the scene. Komoroski's trial does begin next week, and we've been showing you important moments from jail calls between Komoroski and her father before she was released on bond. Take a listen now to this moment when Komoroski's father and Jamie talk about information coming to light about her alleged BAC, the blood alcohol content, on the night of the incident.
More information coming out about what happened, you know. Right?
Such as?
Your BAC level. You know, blood alcohol level. Yeah, not good. So that situation that came out today. And the conversation was, you know, alcohol rehab is something you need to do. You know, you need to accept the reality of some of this stuff, baby. Okay?
Yes, but now that just makes me even more scared for, like, the future and everything.
Listen, the future, you can't do anything about. All we could do is work with what we have, okay? Your future's going to be fine. We need Train, hold on. We need to do what we can now to help your future, okay? Everything that's being done now is to help you in the future. And the future meeting tomorrow, this week, next month, next year, okay? That's what we're working on, okay? Right? Listen, you got to get tough.
I'm just scared, Dad. I don't want to go away for so long.
Well, listen, we're doing everything we can. Right?
Dad, what is it?
We got the right people working on it. Here you go. We got the right people working on it. Everything's going in the best direction it can. Okay? Nothing more can be done. Nothing. But you need to help yourself. You need to help yourself. Okay? Understand?
I'm so nervous.
Well, listen. Of course you're going to be nervous. But you need to help yourself the best that you can. Okay? Everything is being done to help you the best that we can. We got Deb, we got Chris, we got Nathan. All stars. Okay? You need to help yourself though. And you need to realize what's important right now and what's not.
I know what's important. I know what's important.
Well, you kind of aggravated me a little bit yesterday.
How?
Worrying about the stupid cat.
It's not stupid. Stop saying that.
Jamie, there's much more important things to worry about than that.
I understand that now. I understand that.
Okay,
Please.
well, listen, I'm glad, but I could not. I'm bringing it up at a time when we're talking about, helping yourself and what's important. And yesterday I got a little annoyed when you were, about the cat. Don't worry about that. You just think about yourself and everybody that's trying to do the best they can for you. Right? Here you go. This is not going to be easy.
I just don't want to be sent away for like 15 years or something.
Listen, we're working on avoiding all of that. We should not be talking about things like that.
Okay, I'm just nervous.
So am I, Jamie. Listen, my heart is breaking, okay? Absolutely destroyed.
Don't let your heart break because of me.
Here with me to discuss is criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Jennifer Wells. Jennifer, thank you so much for sticking around with us and listening to these jailhouse phone calls. Okay, so recognizing that this is a terrible, terrible situation, I'm going to put that aside for a second. When we listen to these phone calls, you have this young girl talking to her father. Jamie Komoroski is not the first person to get behind the wheel, drive drunk, and kill someone, and she's not, unfortunately, going to be the last. That's why Mothers Against Drunk Driving started many, many, many decades ago. It's a very sad situation, and it happens a lot. She made this decision, and now she has to suffer the consequences. I wish there'd be some sort of training or something we could do for people. Don't get behind the wheel. I actually like BAID devices in cars. I mean, not everybody's going to want a BAID device to have to breathe into the car and get the car to move to make sure they didn't have any alcohol, but I don't know. It's just a tragic situation all around, and this young woman is going to have to pay the consequences. Sam's family has to live with this pain for the rest of their life. Terrible, terrible decision made that day.
Yes, and it's a lose, like as you've already said, it is a lose-lose for everyone. And this is something that, you know, you talk to your clients, you talk to your children, you talk to your children's friends and say, this is why Lyft is cheaper. There are so many other options we have today than to get behind the wheel after you've had one drink. And for whatever reason, this young woman made a different decision, and it is tragic. It is tragic for the family, for the literal newlywed husband. And it's tragic for this young woman and her family as well. As her dad said, I think on the first jail call we listened to, this is a life-changing moment. Your life is basically never going to be the same, and you've got to deal with that 1 minute at a time. And she's obviously struggling on these calls to do that.
Oh yeah.
She is thinking about her cat. She's thinking about, you know, you're watching her boyfriend, and you know, her dad is definitely, bless his heart, I mean, trying to distract her, but she seems like she is. I mean, I just struggle with how this plays to a jury for her. She seems, you know, very self-centered and, you know, focused on herself, which is understandable. She's not thinking about how is this going to look to a jury while she's talking to her dad, but her lawyers sure are. And the first time I watched these, and I'm reminded as we watch them here again today, she just seems like a very, and she is a young person, but a very, unfortunately, immature and self-centered person in these calls. They are not flattering for her at all.
Jennifer, thank you. We're going to get in a break. More from the jail calls between Jamie Komoroski and her father when we come back.
I'm Vinny Politan. Welcome to Closing Arguments.
What's happening here?
It's unreal. Let me show you exactly what happened.
Closing Arguments with Vinny Politan, tonight at 8/7 Central, only on Court TV.
What happened that night? Are you not prepared to take responsibility for any of your crimes?
Interview with a Killer. Marathon starting Thursday, 11/10 Central, only on Court TV.
Thank you.
Back to Charleston, South Carolina now, where we are gearing up for our next live trial here at Court TV, the deadly wedding night trial for defendant Jamie Komoroski. Komoroski will go to trial next week, charged with reckless vehicular homicide and 3 counts of felony DUI as prosecutors accuse her of killing a bride named Samantha Miller. This took place on Samantha Miller's wedding night, and it seriously injured the groom, Eric Hutchinson, as well. Investigators say that she was driving 65 miles per hour in a 25 mile per hour zone with a BAC level more than 3 times the legal limit when she plowed into the newlyweds moments after their wedding reception. So let's get you back now to those jailhouse phone calls between Komoroski and her father, where the two are discussing Jamie's upcoming bond hearing.
I don't think I'm a threat to society at all, and I'm not. And
Depends on who you talk to.
Yeah, okay.
Nice face, nice smirk.
But I'm just hoping that it goes well and that they let me go back to Jersey.
Yeah, well, you know, it's like I said, you know, it's when the court date is available and also when the attorneys are ready. If you go before they're ready, then it's the waste of the bond hearing. they're not ready,
Yeah.
don't want to go, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Now there's going to be, there's going to be stipulations involved with you getting bonded.
Yeah, I know.
Like one of them is going to be rehab.
Yeah, that's fine. I told her I'm willing to do whatever they want me to do. I don't care what I have to do.
Okay, listen, Jamie, that is the perfect attitude, okay? I brought this up because there are going to be things that are not, what you want to do, but it's going to be what you have to.
Yeah, I'll do whatever I have to do. I just want to be
I
with
love
you
that
guys.
attitude. Listen, I'm setting it up, information and stuff with them, with the attorneys and letters and stuff like that. So we're getting there, okay? But I would think it's not going to be before 4 more weeks.
Well, we'll just see. I mean, it depends on when she puts it in, and then.
Right, and when the court date's available. And tomorrow, first thing in the morning, I am going to question them about the letters of support because they never told me who to address it to. What had come up, they don't know who the judge is. So they had mentioned to address them to Your Honor. But I want to know definitively how to do it so I don't mess it up.
If they said address it to mommy, address it to mommy.
No, these are support letters that are written from the people that you gave me and other people that we know already.
Yeah. So
to the judge. To the judge.
Yeah. Okay.
So the letters are, Your Honor, sir. I've known Jamie, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Who do you have on the list that's going to write?
Besides the people you have?
Or, like, who's contacted you back?
We haven't talked to anybody yet because when I contact them, I want to be able to give them the information. It's less of what they put in it, what they shouldn't put in it.
Okay, well, let's make sure we get on that.
Well, I'm baby case. I'm on it.
I know.
Okay.
But I think that might be, she said something about how she's not really going to mention it, maybe like during the case, but give the letters after something so that people aren't calling them or something. I don't know.
Right. So that's what I want to clear up. So right now we're almost there on requesting these letters from the people. Okay? But I want to make sure it's done properly and right. The first thing you do, what are you laughing about?
I tooted.
Uh-oh, clear the room. If there's nobody in there, that's a good thing. If there's somebody in there, they're going to be heading for the door. But I want them done properly and correctly because a wrong letter is worse than no letter.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay?
Okay.
What do you think, Daddy? You ain't got this
I know.
All right, baby cake. Now, how's your coloring coming along?
Good. I'll show you. Hold on.
Nice.
That's an easy one.
Okay. Looks like a European kind of city.
That's what I said. And then this one I wasn't sure. I think it was supposed to be San Francisco, so I did San Francisco.
That is San Francisco. You see that tower on the right?
Yeah.
You see the bridge in the background?
I know the bridge. I did the bridge red. I don't know what the
tower on the right, I think, is a bank building.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's a famous building. But I don't see the homeless drug addicts pooping in the street, though.
Mike Rowe lives in San Francisco, which I'm surprised about.
Who?
Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs.
Oh, yeah. He'll probably be moving out. That one there, that looks more like maybe
Italy or Greece or
Greek
something.
a Greek island with the houses on the cliffs. Right?
And then
maybe
this is
Italy.
the one I'm doing now.
Listen, if you color them all in one day, you're going to run for the color.
Well,
or maybe you
I
should
was
finish
thinking
one.
that. I was
see
like,
a lot
how
of
do I
white
know?
spaces. I see a lot of white spaces on your coloring paper.
Yeah. I was also thinking, like, how do I know if I order the next, like, another one, if it's not just going to be the same thing next week, you know?
Well, you have to find out.
I will. I got a new psalm today.
In fact, I loaded, I had a busy day today, so I went online and I got the Psalm, all of them. And
Oh, good.
You click on the number and it brings up that Psalm. Which one are you doing now?
This is Psalm 23.
Hold on, let me write it down.
Write down Psalm 23.
23. What is it?
It says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right path for his hand's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me."
Very nice. That's a very nice song. You know, it's kind of appropriate, isn't it? Right? So, did that lady tell you about that song, or did you find it yourself?
She told me about that one.
I like this lady.
Yeah, she's really nice. She's like my favorite nurse.
Okay, good. I'm glad you found a favorite nurse. Hey, is there a way, or can I send you like books or something? You're saying you're short on books.
They're going completely paperless.
Huh?
They're going to go completely paperless. So there's no books. I can't have any books.
Well, how are you supposed to read?
They have like books that you can pick off of these like off the tablets.
Oh, the tablet you have that you're using?
Yeah, that's a little difficult.
Still here with me is criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Jennifer Wells. Jennifer, thank you so much for sticking around today as we listen to these jailhouse phone calls between Jamie and her father. Earlier, when her father was talking with her, he was talking about a text message that he had received from Jamie's mother saying, "Don't tell her about it." My mind is always boggled that people don't realize that they are being recorded. I mean, what he ended up saying there, "I love your mama, I love you," was fine. But it boggles my mind that people don't know that they are being recorded.
It tells you right at the beginning of every one of these calls, this is being recorded. Your attorneys have probably advised you, not probably, these attorneys definitely advised them that these calls were being recorded. I can't imagine a situation where her counsel in this case didn't warn them of that. Obviously, you can tell from these calls that these are folks that are talking regularly. But like I said, you can have the best counsel in the world if the family or your client decides to ignore advice. This is what you get stuck with. And I mean, obviously, I think you could have a relevance objection to some of the conversations here. Some of this is just simply not relevant to the matter at hand. It's going to come in as a business record unless there's something about how Charleston keeps their records that I don't know. I also thought really interesting on these calls that the now lame duck, just voted out of office sheriff for the county of Charleston was talking with the family.
Interesting. Jennifer, thank you. Thanks for joining us. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Coming up, we hear the jail calls between Jamie and her boyfriend. That's next.
At honeylove.com.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Judge Ashley Wilcott. Of course, honored to be with you. We are in South Carolina this afternoon, looking ahead to our next live trial, the wedding night manslaughter trial. Defendant Jamie Komoroski is accused of slamming into a golf cart while allegedly driving drunk after a day of bar hopping. Inside that golf cart were newlyweds Samantha Miller and Eric Hutchinson, who were leaving their wedding reception, having just gotten married hours before. Hutchinson was severely injured and Miller died at the scene. Opening statements start next week in that trial, so we want to get you caught up on newly obtained jail calls from Komoroski and the days and weeks following the fatal crash. In two separate calls with her presumed boyfriend, Evan Tatro, Komoroski lightheartedly discusses how she's been keeping busy, letters she's received in jail, and even jokes about sending Tatro some of her hair clippings.
It doesn't look like you have dreadlocks. What's going on?
Oh, let me show you. Hold on. So they didn't have a comb today. So the best thing that he said that he'd had is, like, I guess these things that they use to, like...
Oh, it's for like a razor, yeah.
Yeah. So I use this to brush my hair, and all this to that.
Oh my God! Like, why are you keeping that?
Because I don't have anywhere to put it right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm keeping it so I can send it to you in the mail so you can sniff it.
I don't think I'm gonna want to sniff that. Oh my gosh, what's that thing behind you, Jamie? What is that, like, machine thing?
What machine? Oh, that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's where you can order your commissary.
Oh. So
And your
you're
snack
not like,
pack.
so you're not like in your room right now, right?
No, this is like the rec room.
Well, can I get, like, do you have enough for another snack pack? Can I, like, order you one, or like?
No, I can get one, but my dad puts money on my account, and it's nice. I have tablets now, so I can, like, buy movies and stuff, but...
Yeah, you told me you were going to watch a movie, and tell me which one, so we could both watch it and talk about it.
I know, I gotta look, but I gotta pick one tonight. I've already read 2 books since I've been here.
Whoa, that's good.
Yeah.
You said you're working out, too?
The one book you would actually really like. It's about the Olympic Games in Brazil, and basically there's, like, this evil guy. He starts off nice, but then he becomes evil, and he wants to, like, give back to the poor because, like, the rich people built the stadium, but, like, took from the poor people, and so it's like a spy, like, but it's like they're in Brazil, so it's, like, cool. You would like it.
That's pretty cool. Wow.
I'm glad that little girl shared her grapes with you.
I know, it was so, like, we went on the boat, and then we were going to watch the basketball game, and, like, Jeff, like, got me a chair, and his daughter's, like, at the floor. Her name's Everly or something. They call her Evie, like what Ricky calls me.
That's so cute. I love that.
She was really cute. She's 4. And so Jeff, like, got me a chair, and I was like, can I sit here? And she was like, no. And I was like, okay, like, that's fine. I was like, can I sit on the floor? She's like, yeah, sit on the floor. I was like, okay. So I sat on the floor. I didn't care. And then there was, like, grapes and snacks, and I was like, oh, are these grapes? Like, can I have one? And she's like, no, those are my grapes. And her mom was like, Evie, like, share. I was like, oh, it's okay. I was like, Evie, can I have a grape, please? She's like, nah. I was like, please. And then she's like, okay. So she grabbed me one, and then, like, put it in my hand, but dropped it, so it went on the ground. She was like, ha ha. So I was like, oh, it's okay. So I ate it anyway. She was like, ew.
Oh, that's so cute.
And then I got another one, and then I was about to leave, and I was like, bye, Evie, like, nice to meet you. And she was like, fine. And I was like, can I have a high five? And she was like, no. I was like, what about like a fist bump? And she's like, no. And I was like, can I have a hug? And she was like, no. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, okay, bye. So then I picked her up and gave her a big hug. And she was like, ah! I was like, well, you didn't say it good. So I just went ahead and like, she was like laughing and her dad was laughing. So it was fun.
Oh, that's so cute. I wish I saw that.
We
That's
played
adorable.
dodgeball.
What?
Yeah, we played freeze dodgeball with like bounce balls and stuff. And then I won.
I want to
and then
play
they both
dodgeball.
broke.
What the f? Stop doing fun things without me.
What am I supposed to do?
We need to start playing pickleball.
Yeah, I'm down.
You only need 2 players.
That's right.
And I could up in pickleball. I know that.
No, you couldn't.
We play pickleball in high school. I learned how to play pickleball in high school.
You would not me up in pickleball. No shot. No way.
We're just gonna have to wait and see. I figured out finally how to get like letters that people were sending me, and there's this guy Travis who found me somehow, and he wrote me one letter that was like nice, whatever, like saying like God, whatever, like I'm praying for you and all this stuff. He's like, you can write me back if you need someone to talk to. Then on Mother's Day, I get a letter that he wrote to me, and it said, "Happy Mother's Day to my future baby mama." And then he like wrote this thing, and I was like, what the heck? So, you better watch out for Travis.
Well, I got you a postcard. If I send you a postcard, will you get like the picture back to it?
If you send a postcard, I'm just gonna get a picture of it. I don't know if they send it back to you or where the paper one goes, so you might just want to save it. Or you send a picture of me through the email thing.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay.
I will. I'll send you
You're
a
gone for 2 weeks.
It was a long time. Yesterday I woke up in Copenhagen, Denmark.
That's so weird to think about.
It took me 24 hours to get
home.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know what I had for dinner?
Sure.
It was a hamburger patty, 2 pieces of white bread, rice, and green beans, and 2 cookies.
Ooh. Did you make a hamburger with the white bread and the hamburger?
This one girl the other day, I guess you can get like squeezable cheese. She had squeezable cheese and she was putting it on everybody's burgers. I didn't get any, but apparently it was really good. So.
Well, are you being nice to everyone? Your dad told me you were
being nice to everyone.
maybe not being. You were being kind of mean.
What? My dad said that he put you in check. I was like, I'm sure you did, Dad.
You said what?
My dad said that he put you in check.
That I would?
No, he said that he put you in check.
What?
I don't know. He's so weird. But, somebody came up to me. One of the girls was having me sign a letter for, like, I don't know, something. And then it was somebody that I haven't really talked to. And then she was like, is it true that your dad owns the Cavaliers? And I was like,
oh.
Cavaliers? And she was like the basketball team, like the NBA team. And I was like, no.
The owner has the same last name as you.
It's Komoroski?
Yeah.
He has the same last name as me?
Mhm.
That's so weird. Like Komoroski?
Mhm.
What? What? I need to get on the phone with him. We might be related. Mr. Komoroski, get me tickets. Oh my gosh. When I get out, we can go. All I have to do is be like, yeah, I'm related to him, and show them my ID and be like, we have the same last name. Who else would have the same last name? Maybe they'll be like, yeah, go in. You know how cool that'd be? And then you'd be like, who's that girl over there? And I'm like, Uncle, whatever your name is, don't you remember me?
I'm not sure it works like that.
A girl can dream, okay?
Okay. I did talk to Dad today, though. He's good.
Huh? You talked to my dad?
Mhm.
He's so crazy.
He's kind of he's nice. He said I can call him
He's
Chuckles.
not crazy, but I doubt that. No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. I'm just kidding.
All right, coming up next, Komoroski speaks with her dad from jail and says her goals are to stop drinking and to lose weight. A lot of great insight into the mind of this defendant. We're going to have more from those jail calls up next. Welcome back. We're in South Carolina this afternoon, where opening statements begin next week in the wedding night manslaughter trial. Defendant Jamie Komoroski is accused of killing a bride and injuring the groom on their wedding night right after they got married back in April of 2023. Prosecutors say that Komoroski was driving drunk when she crashed into a golf cart that the newlyweds were driving in as they departed their wedding reception. During a jail call earlier, a month after the fatal crash, it was nearly a month after the fatal crash, Komoroski shares uplifting quotes and discusses her goals with her father. Let's listen.
Well, do you want to see what I've written down?
Sure.
I wrote a little bit today. First, I have a section for, hold on. Okay, these are quotes. These are quotes that I like. Ready?
Go ahead.
First quote. Heaven helps those who help themselves. And the second quote, the spirit of self-help is the root to all genuine growth.
Right. That's correct.
And
because,
this one,
go ahead.
this one's the last one. It says, give me the wild, soaring, indefinite, and unpredictable.
Do that again. Do that again. You mumbled it. Do it again.
Says, give me the wild, soaring, indefinite, and unpredictable. That's what's real. That's the only way to really get to know someone.
I don't like that one, though. But what basically the first two particularly is you have to love and forgive yourself before anybody else can love you and forgive you.
Well, that's not even it. It's like, it's just saying that, like, to really, it says the spirit of self-help is the root to genuine growth. Like, you have to want it in order to actually grow.
That's what I said. You have to love yourself and want to improve yourself for yourself, not for anybody else.
Exactly. Yeah.
For yourself, because nothing.
You have to help yourself.
Right.
And you have to want it.
You have to want it. You have to help yourself, and you have to want to help yourself before anybody else will be able to help you.
Mm-hmm. And then I have some goals. So goals are being sober,
exercise,
get fit,
good,
become closer to God,
good,
help others,
good,
find my passion.
Yes. Good stuff.
And then I put for ways I can help others, assuming I hopefully get bonded out. At Mom's, I could like make crafts, so I said I could sell crafts as like a nonprofit. So like whatever I make, I could like donate. So I said because I know how to make candles, jewelry, paintings, and then like learn to knit or crochet. And then organizations that I would like to help would be like foster kids, any local kids that are in poverty, the VAA, and animal shelters.
That's good. You don't know who else is very important? The veterans.
That's why I put the VAA.
Well, I'm not sure what VAA means.
I think that means the Veterans Association of America.
Okay, yeah. Very important. They need all the help they can get. They protected us, and we need to help them.
Another thing I said is I could create a community book library outside Mom's house. Have you seen those? They're like little wooden houses, and it's like a community book library, and you can like put stuff or take a book, whatever.
Mom has the perfect neighborhood for that.
I know, yeah, she does.
You have to put a security camera out there in case somebody tries to steal the damn book.
It's okay. It's okay.
Big laugh.
I mean, I've kept a library book for too long before, so.
You think?
Yeah.
You outright stole them.
It's funny, I actually thought about, no, I returned them. It was just like 2 months later.
That's all, only 2 months?
Yeah. And then for Find My Passions, I put things that I like, and I said hosting, cooking, helping others, making people feel good about themselves, animals, learning, the outdoor, and like selling things. Because like shopping, but like instead like I would like sell things. Like I like selling things to people that people like.
Good.
Or like making things that people like that they would want to buy.
Good. Now what happens is, you know, your list is very young. You made the list, what, today or the past 2 days or so? So what you do is now you take each individual item on the list and you go into a little more detail about how you are going to
that's what I would do.
Get to the end. Very nice. Oh,
like one of the goals was help others, so I said ways I could help others, and then like that's how I could do it, you know?
Right. So now you take each individual item and you list it, and you start making more detail on how you can help, or how you can get it done, or what is your passion, and just take your initial list of, say, just pulling a number, 5 things. Take thing number 1. And you list it, and then then you start saying, well, I can do this to get to that item. I can do this, I can do this, I can do that. And that's how I'm going to get to my first goal. Right? And so your list of 1 page of these items you're talking about, which I think are very, very nice, will turn into 10 pages. Okay, and you concentrate on them, and you start thinking about how to get these things done, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's a great thing that you're doing. It's very, very.
And then if they do end up, and hopefully they do let me go back home, that'll be a way I can stay busy, you know, like doing stuff like that, like making things and selling them online for like nonprofit, or like, you know, building the little library for Mom's house, and you know, stuff like that, going to church and like doing whatever.
Oh yeah. Well, you have good goals, and you're thinking correctly. You're thinking about how to improve yourself, and how to help yourself, and how to love yourself. Okay? Because that is number 1. No, unless you love yourself, you can't let other people love you. Right? And the things that you're talking about, you're heading in that direction. So once you start doing these things and figuring out how to get there, you'll start feeling better.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring in our experts this hour. Prosecutor, former U.S. Attorney Jennifer Wells, and civil rights and trial attorney Joe Richardson. Always great to have you on, Joe. Great to see you. And Jennifer, I hadn't been on with you recently, so I'm so glad you're both here. First, give me your opinions. favorable impression or not of the defendant, Jamie, while she's on these different various jail calls? Let me start with you, Jennifer.
So I say no. And that is because she is a young person, but she definitely comes across as a young person on here. And obviously we're not seeing any places where there's anything of remorse from her other than, I don't want to go to jail for 15 years. I want to come home, all of these things. And Dad saying you need to be realistic. And he's definitely trying to coach her there. But she just seems very young, very immature, and very not in contact with what actually happened here.
Yeah, the reality of it. And I wrote down the same thing. She sounds so young. She sounds younger to me than even the 25 years old she was at the time of the incident. Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree with that. You know, she, it's like she doesn't understand the gravity of what's actually happened here. And, Dad is, maybe trying to give her a little dose of reality, but also keeping her optimistic. Maybe she's looking at the fact that she could get 3 years or whatever else, but it's going to be interesting to see. I would imagine she might end up testifying. It's going to be interesting to see how she really positions herself and how attorneys position her at trial to see if she's less sympathetic so that she doesn't get quite as much time. But I think it starts with a certain level of realism. And right now, at least at the moment, we don't seem to be seeing it.
And if she's convicted of the top charge, she faces 3 to 85 years. What a span that a potential sentence could encompass. So a lot on the line for her here, again, if she's convicted. Stay with us both, please. We're going to hear more of Jamie Komoroski's jail calls after this very short break. Stay tuned.
$1,000 in daily prizes.
I'm just scared, Dad. I don't want to go away for so long.
Well, listen, we're doing everything we can. All right?
Dad, what is it?
We got.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Ashley Wilcott. You are just hearing, I think, the reaction of the defendant, Jamie Komoroski, realizing she is going to be sitting in jail at that time. And in fact, she faces a jury starting on Monday. Investigators say that the 26-year-old was driving 65 miles per hour in a 25 miles per hour zone with a blood alcohol level more than 3 times the legal limit when she plowed into a golf cart. And that golf cart held a pair of newlyweds. The bride, Samantha Miller, was killed, while 3 others who were in that golf cart, including the groom, Eric Hutchinson, were injured. We've been listening to jail phone calls from the defendant. Now, she's been released on bond since these calls, but at the time she was in jail. And we're going to pick up with a call between Komoroski and her father, where she's telling him a list of things she would like to do with her life. Let's listen.
I wrote down a list of things I want to do, like things I eventually want to do. Like, I want to travel to all 50 states.
Okay.
Paragliding. I said I want to hike the Appalachian Trail.
How far?
See, I don't know if I would do the whole thing. If you do,
well, you consider it's about 1,000 miles.
It's supposed to take, I think, you're supposed to start. It's supposed to take, like, I think 6 months or something. You're supposed to start in, like,
Georgia.
You're supposed to start
in Georgia and walk to Maine.
In Georgia around end of winter, because then it goes winter, spring, summer, and then you end at the top in fall. You end like in May and fall.
That's in Maine. It cuts through New Jersey. I've seen it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
I saw people walking on it.
Yeah, there's some people that walk the entire thing. I don't know. Maybe I would start off easy and just do like maybe.
Yeah, then maybe you go to the Watchung Reservation and walk around the lake first. That first starts.
And then I want to do a road trip down the PCW highway.
The what? Oh, Pacific Coast Highway?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's like the bucket list, right?
I started reading some, I found a good book. on the tablet, and it's just like inspiring stories and like people who've been like, you know, in hard times, and just stories about their lives and just inspiration and stuff. So that was good. I found that. I was reading that on my tablet.
Okay. How much are you into it? How much you have left?
I don't think it's very long. It's a bunch of short stories from people who, a lot of the people, it's like AA, how they got into AA and how it's like helped them change their lives, or just about how people have changed their lives, you know.
Right.
Like,
well, that's you know, that's what the program does.
Have anxiety, people who used to have anxiety and have gotten over their anxiety and stuff. So.
Well, that's what, you know, AA does. It changes how you think about life and what's important and what's not, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Me and Josie were talking earlier, and sometimes we'll start talking about food, and because she's Indian, so she's Indian, so we decided we're gonna write some recipes for each other. I told her, I was like, I can give you a recipe for chicken franchise.
Right.
And she's gonna give me some recipes for like stews and stuff. So that'll be
curry. I've never had curry.
Curry.
I've never had curry.
Curry's so good. I've only had Thai curry though.
I've never had any curry.
I've only had Thai curry. Sorry if I'm like a little bit late on our meetings. It's not me. It's they have to send me up, and they don't care. So.
I'll wait until the time is up. Okay.
Well, dinner today was good. Oh, and me and Josie also started a log of all of the food. So each day we're going to log what we get so that we can try to see if there's a pattern. And then we also rate it. So today, breakfast.
How old is Josie?
43 or something.
Okay, all right.
She's awesome. I'm so happy she's my roommate. I'm so lucky she's my roommate. But, so for breakfast today we had oatmeal, plain potatoes. They were so plain. There was no flavor at all. Like this.
All right.
So bad. And then.
What were they like? Were they like box potatoes or like chopped up potatoes, like real potatoes?
They were like they were like in slices like this. Like it was supposed to be hash browns kind of, but they were in like slices.
Right.
So plain potatoes, super plain oatmeal. They don't give you any sugar or anything. And then a little sausage patty that's like this big.
How big? Like a silver dollar?
It's that big. And then 2 pieces of white bread. So that was 2 out of 10. We don't like that one, so we put 2 out of 10. Sometimes they'll give you like cake or something for breakfast. But so that was a 2 out of 10. But then lunch, they used the same potatoes from breakfast, I think.
Yeah.
They added like meat and like and it was, a lot of the food here isn't that flavorful. It was so flavorful.
Okay.
So it was the potatoes, and then we had obviously
some meat in it or something.
Oh, and coleslaw and 2 cookies. So lunch was a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
And then dinner today was like 5 little meatballs, rice, cooked veggies.
Did you trade your veggies? Did you trade your veggies with that other girl?
No. I kept my veggies.
Huh?
I gave some of my bread away, though. I kept my veggies, but I gave some of my bread away.
Oh, to somebody?
Mm-hmm. But, I would give dinner like that's like a solid 6.5 out of 10.
6.5? Not a 6, not a 7, 6.5.
Yeah.
All right. All right. It must have been them meatballs put it up that extra half a point.
Still with us, Prosecutor Jennifer Wells and Attorney Joe Richardson. Let me start with you, Joe, if I could please, and let me ask, do you think if this was your client that you would advise her to testify during the guilt phase of the trial that's scheduled to begin on Monday? Or do you think that these kinds of jail calls might speak for her, given you can hear her saying lots of things?
Yeah, I mean, she is saying a lot of different things here. Unless there was something, I mean, that I really wanted her to clear up or clean up. You know, there's a lot of suggestions, of course, about how she is, her demeanor, her maturity level, or whatever else, and that might lend to some things, but not necessarily I did it versus I didn't do it. Nothing like that. So I could see either side of having her testify. I don't know whether or not I would actually have her testify. It's always so dangerous, and particularly with her maturity level, I don't know how well she would do during cross, because if she comes off as clueless, I think a jury would be more mad at her, and I think a judge would be more mad at her. So I would look both ways before I cross that street. But this is one of those cases where if you want something explained, maybe she's the one to explain it.
Yeah, I would agree. She'd be the one to explain it. Let me ask you, Jennifer, she is out on bond at this time, trial to begin Monday. And that includes things like a bracelet to monitor alcohol level to ensure they know if she's drinking alcohol, which she is not supposed to do as a condition of bond. Are you surprised that she's out on bond pending the trial scheduled to begin on Monday?
She's got some pretty serious bond conditions. She's for South Carolina. She's got a pretty high bond. She's not only on what they call a scram monitor here, she's also on home detention with GPS monitoring. So she is not allowed to leave her house without prior permission or for very specific reasons. Additionally, that HD monitoring lets whoever's monitoring it know exactly where she is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so much so that our judges often, not always, but often give credit for that as actual time in jail. So it doesn't surprise me that she's out based on her lack of prior record. But she also has significant conditions.
And I really appreciate your spelling out all those conditions, because it does make a difference. It doesn't mean that she's out there unhampered with all her freedoms. Rather, she has restrictions to ensure she and society are both safe.